Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm going to be talking you all the way through, well, not all the way through because I can't show you the whole game, Monster Hunter Stories. Yes, the game, at the time of recording, is now out, at least it is in the UK. Can't say about the US, but by the time you watch this, it's probably going to be out. And do you know what? Something that I didn't actually take into consideration when they announced the game and stuff like that, they announced how it was going to be a very different kind of Monster Hunter game, and it is a very different kind of Monster Hunter game. Look, I mean, I'm riding an Aptonoth for a start. Is it called an Aptonoth? Aptonoth? I really lose track. Yeah, I can look at that screen. I can look at that screen. Magic. But yeah, I mean, rather than going around hunting monsters, more than anything, you're going to be befriending them and occasionally getting in fights as well. And, well, you know, sort of the fights are fairly common. You know, I could get in a fight with that thing, but I'm not going to, because what I'm going to be talking about today is the fact that this game is an almost perfect entry-level game in the Monster Hunter series. Because the main problem with Monster Hunter, and it's fairly well accepted that this is a major problem, is the fact that the game is incredibly difficult to get into. There's so many things to learn, so many things to understand, that really, unless you started with the, you know, sort of the earlier games and you moved up to the later ones, you're going to be at a real disadvantage, and it's very difficult to pick it up. And a lot of people just sort of think that they haven't got the time and patience in order to do that. And I was the same when I first got Monster Hunter 3, but this is a very, 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 very good one to start with, because on the face of it, it seems like a very different game, and it's very approachable, you know, sort of there are tutorials and stuff telling you things. But there's also a lot that is the same as the main Monster Hunter games, but in a sort of a more accessible, more gentle, sort of a lovelier, bubblier way that's just a little bit easier to dip your toe into. Your proverbial toe in the proverbial pool. For example, I'm standing next to this thing here. This is a mining spot, which you can probably tell because of the pickaxe icon. I press A, and I'm on the back of the monster, so it's a much quicker animation. And you get items, and you have to forage in the same way. I can do a scan here for plants. Hey, there's a plant over here. Because what the hell was that? Blimey. Might go for one of them later, but maybe not in this video, because that's not what this video is about. No. But you go around and you have to forage, you have to scavenge, you have to find items and things like that. And you also have to defeat monsters and get various parts. Oh, you know what? I can also show you a good... Oh, I've been snuck up on! Never understood whether snuck is an actual word. We'll come back in a minute. Actually, no, you know what? I can just run away. Let's just run away. I can't be bothered to deal with this right now. I haven't got enough time. So anyway, many of the real staples of the Monster Hunter series, besides hunting monsters, are apparent in this game as well when it comes to roaming the landscape, looking for ingredients. For example, we've got blue mushroom here. Yeah, that's a blue mushroom. Ironically, the blue mushrooms aren't blue in this game, and the special mushrooms are blue. I really don't know. But that's besides the point. And there's also various other things. For example, you know what, let's get into a very quick fight. Let's quickly, let's switch Monsty quickly. Where can we go for that? It's been a while since I've done... Oh no, it's a touch menu, ignore me. I'm being one of those total idiots. Doesn't matter, I've switched to Wiggles, and we're going to take out this Aptonoth. Might even be able to get a rear attack from that, I'm not sure. And so I just very quickly knock this thing out. It shouldn't be too difficult. They generally go for power, so you want to go for speed. Pow! Okay, so we've taken that thing out. Now, if you look at the bottom screen, you can see reward items. These are only very basic reward items, and more, you know, sort of more valiant foes will give you better dropped items and things like that. And I believe we'll get some other stuff. Yes, we're getting some raw meat and things like that. Now, you use these items in order to upgrade your weapons in a very, very similar way to how you do it in the actual Monster Hunter games. And it is a little bit more straightforward, but on the whole, it is the same kind of level of you need these items to upgrade this weapon, and therefore the weapon will be better, and it will become, you know, if you upgrade enough times, it'll become a different kind of weapon entirely. And you can choose how that weapon will go. And that is exactly the same as it is in Monster Hunter. Again, as I say, the process is actually slightly simplified, but the basic premise is exactly the same. And sometimes it's not monster parts, sometimes it's things you got to run around and forage. I can just jump with that. I don't know, I can jump anytime. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so you got to go around, you got to forage, and oh, there's a chest here. Flash bomb, that's an item you use in the game. There are also various other elements that really train you up for a real Monster Hunter game. It's weird, it's almost as if it has been tailor-made to do just that. For example, there is the battle pouch system, where you can only take in a certain amount of items and certain kinds of items in certain multiples. For example, I think you can only carry 10 potions and 10 mega potions. You can't carry any more than that. And that is exactly the same as it is in the real Monster Hunter game. I believe you can also only carry 2 traps. I haven't got that far in this game, but somebody's confirmed from Nintendo that that is the case indeed. There are also things like whetstones, which behave differently in this game, but you sort of want to be using the whetstones pretty often, and that is very similar, again, to Monster Hunter. The whole thing, this whole game is like a giant tutorial for a real Monster Hunter game. That's not to say that this game isn't without its merits. It does stand up on its own. It's a very different style of game in that regard. But again, it is very much like, it's almost like a training mission for Monster Hunter that's a full game, you know. It's pretty damn cool. There's another thing that is also exactly the same as it is in Monster Hunter, and that is the combine system, where you combine 2 parts to get, you know, for example, I combine a blue mushroom here and a herb in order to get a potion. It's as simple as that. I've got 10 at the moment, and I can just press A, create 1, and that's the case. And the thing is, the recipes are exactly the same in this game as they are in the main Monster Hunter game. So knowledge you gain from this game transfers over to Monster Hunter core series games. It's really nice, and I mean, it's a very simple thing, but it really helps. It's a really useful tool. And I think it's wonderful. Unfortunately, I can't show you anything beyond that because I'm not very far in this game, but I played the preview version that was a little bit further along. And I can tell you that, yeah, any recipe that's in Monster Hunter that carries over to this game, they will have exactly the same recipes. And I think that is just a stroke of genius, because it just gives you a starting platform. When you go into a Monster Hunter game, you're going to think, you're not going to be there going, oh, what do I do? You know, sort of, how do I heal myself? You're just going to go, oh yeah, no, I've got to go over here, get this herb, mushroom, combine them, I've got me a potion, I can heal myself up like a mother flipper. There are also various other smaller things, like you'll learn that the Velocidrome that I'm on, for example, is a carnivore and will attack you. You learn that these things here, the Aptonoths, they are herbivores and they will avoid you at all costs, and that's pretty much the same as it is in Monster Hunter. It's genuinely a really interesting sort of blend of this new gameplay, but with all the sort of cornerstones of Monster Hunter. It's really something. So if you're like so many people that I've spoken to that said, I'd love to play Monster Hunter, but I don't know where to begin. I tried playing it and I just got completely overwhelmed, Monster Hunter Stories could be your way into it. It is a gateway into a greater Monster Hunter universe, and it's definitely one worth checking out. Now what they need to do is bring Monster Hunter Double Cross over to the Switch in the West. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you leap towards that subscribe button that just so happens to look suspiciously like an Aptonoth at the moment, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.